Here we have a pre-owned 2019 BMW M850i. Now this one comes in Alpine white, and then we have the cognac leather interior. Powertrain consists of a 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8 engine mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. That gives us 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. A little over 59,000 miles on this example. LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. This one also is an X-Drive, so we get all-wheel drive capability here. And just love the front fascia. Front sensors integrated in the bumper there. And then down here, these are gonna be 20-inch aluminum wheels. Love that design there. Love the blue brake calipers as well. We do get passive keyless entry on the front. Power door locks, memory seat functions, and then we have our one-touch up and down windows. Power folding side mirrors with blind spot monitors. Then we can adjust either side glass there. And then that's going to be for the trunk there. Hit this twice to pop the hood. There are the pedals. Over here we have our headlamp controls, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our power driver's seat, and we do get 4-way power lumbar support there. And then we can adjust the thigh bolsters too. But I want to give a huge thanks to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro and Auto Pro Nashville for allowing me to review this M850i today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. So if you want to, the anchors for the car seats are down there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use this once again to open the lift gate here, or the trunk space, I should say. So several different ways to open it. Tons of space back there, it's just a little skinny. Then we have the owner's manuals and such here. Dang, I think it's a window sticker, yep. So we'll get a chance to take a look at that. Always nice when these are included by the previous owner. But you all can pause anywhere you need to take a closer look at anything. I'll go to the options first. And then here we have all the standard features. Fuel economy numbers and all that. And if you're curious about the parts content, there it is. So again, I'm very glad that this was included here. Just put that back in there for the next person. But yeah, pretty good space back here. And if you want to fold the seat on either side, just hit the latch. I'm only going to do the right side because I'll be over there. And there's the button if you want to open it. You can also close it that way as well. So again, several different ways to open and shut the trunk, which is nice. Nice exhaust here. This does have the IRL Unleash the Beast exhaust valve system, so I'll show you the key fob for that after a while, but we're gonna test it out when we drive it. Of course, premium needs to be put in here. And then here's our power front passenger seat. Same adjustability, that same manual thigh support there. Lockable glove compartment. Somebody's insurance information was in there. And then as we come back around to the front, I'm gonna pop the hood, but then I'm also gonna show you all the sticker that Auto Collection included. So there's that 4.4 twin turbo V8. And then this just shows you the price of this, $116 for the sticker. And it's $45,000 now. I just drove an X7 M50i, and I was just kind of reminiscing on when these used to be so cheap to buy after just a few years because they were so expensive to fix. But now that they've become more reliable, they kind of hold their value a bit better. There's the blinker in the side mirror in the front there. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrap steering wheel here. Heat function is down here, and it tells you in the gauge cluster when it's on or off. There's the horn. Over here to the radio, I'm just gonna run through it real quick. We get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth. And then we also have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Car settings are in here. So in the settings, I can go through quite a bit, including the driver assistance system, drive modes, but then in your general settings, you can change your language, as well as your units of measurement individually. Navigation systems here, type in destinations, receive destinations, and then all of that on the side there. Different ways to really configure the system to your liking. And then these are the different pages on the home page. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. You get the automatic parking backup assistant, all that you can fool with there. And then there's your front camera there. Actually, no, that's a backup camera. That gives you almost like a panoramic view, if you will. So this does not have the front camera included on this one. Interesting. Now, we do get our dual zone automatic climate control. So one thing I do like about the BMW systems, and I've said this many times, is you can adjust either one manually. So whether it's the fan speed, the fan direction, or the temperature, you can adjust all that. It's one of the few vehicles that you can actually do that in. Hazards are there, and then you do have the intelligent safety system. You can set that to on, individual, or turn it off. And then volume knob is here. You can click that to turn the audio off, and then you can change your audio sources and your bands there. It's getting a little hot in here. I'm gonna turn this down. But wireless charging pads here, 2 bottle holders here, 12 volt there, and then you can stow all that away. And it's a nice view there. But traction control, camera, parking sensors, auto stop toggle. And then over here we can go through our radio. Here's a knob there. And we can go through the different configurations. We have quick shortcuts and all of that from just hitting these soft touch buttons and using this rotary knob. Electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage. And then for the shifter, unlock it here, pull down for drive. You can tap up for neutral, and then hold the unlock button again, pull all the way up for reverse. And then when you're in drive, you can come over here, manually shift from the shifter, or the paddle shifters themselves go through all 8 of those gears there. And then press P for park right here. Of course, with it being a BMW, several different drive modes. We have the Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and then we have the Adaptive. So for the Sport, you get your standard, your plus. You can set up an individual. For the Comfort, you just have that standard. And for the Eco Pro, you have the standard. And then you can configure the individual there too. And then center console cubby space, you get a USB-C fast charge port, and then another 12 volt here. Now, very surprised that we don't have a sunroof in here for this amount of money, but there's a view of the back seat from up here. And I forgot to show you how it folds down. So that's how it folds flat there. And then there's your top tether on the back of the seat. That would be a pain if I had to set that up, but it's there if you need it. Now back to the steering wheel itself, hit this BC button to go through your options on that right-hand side of the gauge cluster there. Change your views. Auto high beam toggle is there. High beams, you can flash, blinkers, and then you do have automatic wipers. So you have one-time off, auto, low, high. You can adjust that auto sensitivity there. And then to the steering wheel itself, limiters here. You get the cruise control with the lane keeping system, and then you can change what mode you're in there, whether you want it to just be adaptive, if you want it to be with the lane centering on, and then you can adjust the gap for the cruise there. Volume down, volume up, Bluetooth. You can pull up your media here, and then you can go through actual tracks or stations here. Or I take that back. You go in here, and then once you're in the actual place you want to be, that's when you can actually scroll, use the scroll bar to go through each individual station. And then you can go through presets and whatnot there. But voice recognition, And if you get a good look at that, it's actually a pretty neat heads-up display. There's a lot that goes on there, good color and all of that. Push button starts here. Here's the key fob. And then for that Unleash the Beast exhaust, close the valves up here. And if you listen closely, you can hear where it kind of died down, and then you can activate it once again by pushing down here.